Well, good evening. My name is Ned Hunter again, and it's a privilege to be here to speak to you about a very, very serious situation before our nation right now, and that's the crisis at the VA. And a solution that Apparancy is developing, which I believe can be a game changer. And that's not just for them, but for our veterans in our country. And I don't imply this lightly. As a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, former naval aviator, the former CEO of Stratazon Corporation, which developed an innovative software tool and successfully piloted a software solution for veterans benefits in Virginia with testimony before Congress on its efficacy, and now as a CEO of a company under contract with the Texas Criminal Justice Division on border security, I just want to offer respectfully, I have no wish or no need to waste your time or Karen's, but I still, however, have a compelling desire to solve the problem. In May, when the VA situation became a national scandal, I was far from surprised. For over 8 years at Stratazon, I was afforded unique access to VA workers, facilities, high-level audiences to become acutely knowledgeable of the root causes. It began in 2003 when I partnered up with retired Navy Commander Paul Galante, Annapolis class of '62, who spent nearly 7 years in various POW camps in Vietnam, including the infamous Hanoi Hilton, after being shot down on a mission in June 17, 1966. Paul is truly a remarkable American hero and currently serves as the Commissioner of Veteran Services for the Commonwealth of Virginia. As fellow Annapolis alums and aviators, we found we shared the same, what we quoted as vision to solution, which was a simple, complete, and elegant process for veterans to receive the benefits that they deserve. We are both Apple Mac heads with unbridled passion and energy to change the system, driven by the numbing bureaucracy he experienced upon his return from Vietnam in 1973, and my family's experience when we lost my father to ALS, a Navy veteran in the Pacific Theater. Paul was Mr. Inside and I was Mr. Outside. Paul coined the term TurboVet and opened the doors. I charged through those doors, showcasing the tool built to bring TurboVet to life. It was a bottom-up approach, designed through the eyes of the veteran that made the veteran's experience simple and respectful and provided an accurate, personalized, and complete solution. It was the trust solution most, if not all, veterans truly expected and hoped for. My meetings included various CIOs and CTOs of the VBA, that's Veterans Benefits Association, and Veterans Health Association, that's VHA, numerous special project and technical teams, leaders of the most acclaimed veteran service organizations, the VSOs, and major consulting companies under contract with the VA to fix the problem. I conducted personal briefings to the three predecessors to Secretary Shinseki, which Secretary Principi, Secretary Nicholson, and Secretary Peake, in the Omar Bradley conference room. The tool that built TurboVet was called the Vision System. It was an open standards J2EE program that used Boolean logic to create the questions on the screen to be asked of a veteran. Their answers and data inputs were used to further refine exactly what they needed, simultaneously auto-populating every form from the metagroup of forms that applied to them. We marketed this solution as an intelligent user interface that could route data seamlessly with our SOAP-based intelligent enterprise connector to any backend system via XML. The pundits were impressed, but saw a disruptive technology. The key was the logic. What did the veteran need before starting the process? What forms were to be used? What questions needed to be asked? What question followed a yes answer, and what question followed a no answer? When did you know when all the right questions were asked? So we worked the problem. As a black belt in Lean Six Sigma, I got inside the walls and mapped the processes between the veterans, state benefits representatives, federal adjudicators, places where those within the beltway were hesitant to go. We assembled a platform team of 8 teenagers from age 13 to 18 years of age, and sitting weekend after weekend at Emory University, we trained and certified them as Lean Six Sigma Green Belts and had them meticulously source and validate every benefit form relating to a veteran available from all the federal agencies we could find, and then built out the questions from the forms using the tool. The redundancy in requested information was numbing. What we discovered during our pilot project with Salesforce.com in Virginia was frightening and disgraceful. GS Level 4 to 5 workers were reviewing claims and passing stacks of claims to GS Level 12 workers to adjudicate, who then passed their work back to a GS Level 4 to manually key the data into the VetsNet system, which is the system to release a monetary award or an appeal. Senior managers offered that it was taking an average of 7 years to train a veteran claims representative, but they were retiring at a faster rate than which they could be trained to competency. So the vet who got the claims representative with 1 year under the belt was called, quote, the unlucky vet. They got an appeal several years later because a question that needed to be asked on the first day just wasn't asked. And let me be clear, because I do not fault the many, many dedicated and talented working mid-level managers and workers our teams encountered doing the best they could, who were equally frustrated with the system. Unfortunately, but realistically, they knew silence was a better avenue to job security than public exposure. So we failed. Not easy to say that, but we failed. We failed culturally and technically because TurboVet was a Web 3.0 solution in a Web 1.0 time. Culturally, the VA did not want to embrace the power of the web, and while they admitted to the seriousness of the situation and the exorbitant financial liability of the country, they did not feel the urgency to change. Technically, the vision system was ahead of its time, but not sophisticated enough to address the needs we were uncovering in process mapping. The tool simply did not have the necessary workflow and process, execution, monitoring, modeling, and controls that I now find in Apparancy. For example, we found along our solution path was that some veterans needed to take the off-ramp every now and then to get some other things done, like a medical exam, before a fully developed claim could be submitted. And for those of you who don't know, a VA disability benefits claim is considered, quote, fully developed, unquote, when the veteran has no more evidence to submit and the only assistance required from the VA is to secure federal records and order any medical examinations. But now it is a Web 3.0 world. Web 3.0 browsers and applications can act like a personal assistant. Resolving the crisis can no longer be blamed on technical insufficiency, and now we have urgency. So when Karen contacted me through my former CMO in May, Bill McInerney, I was hesitant but very excited to speak to her and Ben about Apparancy's approach and the VetApprove product. Over the past month, almost on a daily basis, former investors, friends, relatives, workers, advisors, and business leaders asking if I'm going to put the band back together and stand up TurboVet have contacted me. While very flattering, I know in my heart my knowledge may be very valuable, but without the right technology backbone to take advantage of that knowledge, it's pointless. But I listen. Last week, I gladly accepted Karen's invitation to serve as an advisor to Apparancy to assure VetApprove becomes the solution of choice for our veterans. I truly believe that now it can be done. VetApprove is a solution aimed squarely at helping the VA meet the challenge before them. And maybe I don't want to go too deep, but it's all about the properly defined by Little's Law, if anyone's aware of that. It's a physical law and equation embedded in Six Sigma that defines process lead times, the crisis before us right now, the zeroing out that's been happening in all these facilities. Poor process lead times are the measure of work in process divided by average completion rate. And I'll repeat, work in process divided by average completion rate. It is very important because if work in process, all the stacks of those claims remain steady, and throughput means the speed at which they can get those claims done, it's going to break. If, for example, work in process improves and you don't do anything about it, it will break. And historically, what the government has done is thrown human capital at it. And that can't be the solution. It's costly, and it just doesn't work. As I mentioned, it takes too long to train them up to actually make a difference. And this is precisely what has happened. The government has put forth various technology solutions like VONAP and My Healthy Vet, been there, done that, met with them all. I have presentations beyond presentations to people that have come and gone. Paul Tibbet, I could make names across the board, all with the insight that what you have is right, they just weren't ready to embrace it. So clearly in some cases, no amount of technology can help a veteran who's best served by one-on-one. And that's the other thing you have to understand. It can't be 100%. There's some veterans that just need the personal attention. And if you get that down, and if you understand you have to work with the many, many wonderful people at the veteran service organizations who are trying to do it, but all doing it differently, and if we rally around a single technical solution, It can be accomplished, but you need the workflow engine and the process control, or it won't work. What we need now is VetApprove. I believe in it. I'm going to commit my name and reputation to it. Again, I'm running a successful company on the board. I don't know why I'm down there getting involved with that mess, but I am. And it's been a pleasure, and I truly appreciate the opportunity to work for Apparancy to make a difference. Thank you.